So, hi everyone. This is Hennessy's Disla from the Arm Hug podcast, and I am here with Sam Tejada. He is the founder and CEO of Liquivida, who is the leader in the IV vitamin therapy industry. It is fully diverse in its products and services, and it serves customers' needs from anti-aging, medical aesthetics, weight loss, along with personal beauty and care. So, Sam, can you talk a little bit about how you got started with this?
Absolutely. So it's a pleasure to be on here on your podcast, by the way. Thank you. So the way that I got involved in this is I actually started Liquivida as a part-time gig on my days off from the fire department almost 10 years ago. We're going to hit our 10-year anniversary coming up November, actually.
Wow.
And so it was a part-time gig. I was doing it on my days off from the fire department. And what I did is I partnered up with a doctor who already had a wellness center in Coconut Creek, Florida. And I took a good sized room in his practice. And what I did is I started offering IV vitamin therapy, and I partnered up with him. He offered the medical direction, the space, etc. And I actually started Liquivida with $500 in my back pocket. Fast forward to today, we have over 32 locations. We're on the pharmacy side. We actually sell product to over 4,000 doctors, our proprietary IV infusion kits that we have. And we haven't taken any outside capital investments into the company. And we've been self-funded. And now, we're this beautiful scaling company that's valued at several millions of dollars.
Yeah, well, congratulations. I mean, every time I talk to someone about IV hydration, your company comes up. I'm curious to know from you, like, where do you see your business going? Will there be new services added? Can you talk a little about the services that you have?
Yeah, so initially we started with IV vitamin therapy only. And that's where we saw that there was a lot of other needs that these patients needed. And that's where we started implementing additional services and modalities that would benefit them health and wellness wise. And now, today, our wellness centers, we offer several different services and modalities. And some of those include a lot of prevention services. So we have different diagnostic tools. Like we have an in-body machine that does a body composition analysis. So we could actually look at how much lean mass the patient has, how much fat, how much visceral fat they have to customize their weight loss program, which then leads me to the next. We offer different medical weight loss programs. We use some of the popular ones that people are talking about, like the semaglutide and also tirzepatide, which is the weight loss injection. We do different other different services that include hormone optimization for both males and females. We do regenerative medicine, which we use different peptides and also stem cell derived products. And then one of the favorites, especially here in South Florida, we have our aesthetics division. Our aesthetics division has different services that we use. We do the lip fillers, the facial fillers to increase volume. We have the neurotoxins like Botox and Dysport that we offer. And then we also have our other division, which is sexual health, which we offer a few different services and treatments for sexual health, which some of those include peptide therapy. We also do the O shot and P shot. And then we have a technology called the Gains Wave, which is the low frequency shockwave therapy that helps break up a lot of plaque and calcium buildup in the vessels, which will help actually fix the root cause of erectile dysfunction and increase blood flow.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's a lot of services. I mean, it just shows that you guys just continue to expand every time somebody might need something, which is amazing. I think we need more of that out here. So where can people learn more about you guys? Like, how does it
So a few different places. I'm really big into the social media. I produce a lot of content, which my social media Instagram handle is Sammy, that's SAMMY _ Tejada, TEJADA. We have our Liquivida channel, which we produce a lot of content as well, which that is Liquivida on Instagram and also Facebook and LinkedIn. And then obviously our website, a lot of information there, which is www.liquivida.com. And other places where people can learn more, we do a lot of speaking engagements. Myself and a few of our doctors, our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Christopher Davis, also speaks on stage. We do a lot of educational symposiums. We do it with the AmSpa. We do it with the A4M. We also participate with the American IV Association, also known as AVA. Um, and then one of the big ones that's coming up that everyone in the IV business needs to be at, and a lot of the contributors to my book that is coming out in 6 weeks, it's called How to Win in Modern Wellness. A lot of the leaders in the industry, CEOs and doctors that are in my book will be at that event. We'll actually be doing a book signing, which anybody who goes will get a book, and all of us are going to be signing it, all of these leaders in the industry. And that's in October, mid-October, and it's called the IV Biz Bash. And the founder of that is Chris Hamill, which is also, just dropped over there, but is also in the book, Chris Hamill, right here. He has a chapter in the book, and the IV Biz Bash is just brings everybody from the different companies like Hydrate, Drip Bar. You're going to have 10X, Gary Brecka speaking there. A lot of the leaders in the industry at this conference.
That's great. And I'll put those links in the video so that people can go check them out. And is your book sold anywhere else, or is that the only place to get it?
No, so that's where we're going to be releasing it, but it will be available on Amazon. I'm doing self-publishing, and it will be available on Amazon to purchase. The hard copy, and then also if you want the e-book, you can also download it.
That's great. Can you talk a little bit about the franchise model that you guys have? Like, what is it that someone would need, let's say, if they're thinking about starting an IV hydration? What's a requirement?
So, I always tell people you don't necessarily have to franchise, but the benefit of franchising is that you're buying into a bigger system that has already fallen and gotten back up on many different aspects when it comes to business. So when you buy into a franchise system and get that exclusive territory, you're getting access to all kinds of different assets, tools, methodologies, SOPs, your standard operating procedures to have a successful business. You have that franchisor, like us, Liquivida, or a franchisor that sells franchises to people that are interested in investing. And we're there to support you throughout your business journey. What do you need to franchise? So first thing is you have to fill out the application, and we have to make sure you're a fit to franchise our business. And part of that is there is a financial component that we have to see, if you fit that financial component. And then number two, we have to make sure that you're going to be a franchisee that's going to work the business and represent the business in the way that our brand, our brand expectations are.
That makes sense, because some people might be thinking about it, or they've got other services and they want to add IV to it. Have you ever had that happen, or seen people like try to add multiple services just like you?
Yeah, we see it all the time. We'll even see chiropractors that integrate medical into the chiropractic office, and they'll end up reaching out to Liquivida because obviously, besides franchising, we have our proprietary IV infusion kits that come with all of the pre-dosed, pre-measured medications. We have 9 different formulas, and we'll help them integrate that process into the practice. Now, when we talk about franchising, we do have our brick and mortar wellness centers, which is very retail, that offers all of these different services and modalities that we talked about just earlier. But we also have a different franchise model where what we do is we only plug in the IV infusion portion into your practice. So what we do is we take a good sized room, basically how I started Liquivida and created the initial success. We take a good sized room in your existing clinic, and we'll actually build out a Liquivida in that room, and then we'll establish it as a Liquivida at your medical practice. Similar to, like, the best way I can put it is, you can go to a Starbucks brick and mortar location, has the drive-through, has the spot where you can sit down and read, and then you have the Starbucks at the airport that's a kiosk. You still get the same coffee, you just don't get that full experience. So that's what we do with the doctor's offices as well.
And what do you see as the future with IV hydration or Liquivida? Do you think more people will keep doing this at brick and mortars or at home?
I see. So, what it comes down to is the different regulations that are being put, into the different bills that are being passed through the different states, and they are getting a little bit more strict. A lot of us have collectively gotten together to lobby against some of these ridiculous regulations. Now, there are some regulations that are needed to help, protect consumer safety, their health, etc. But where do I see it going? I see it growing on both ends, where it's the mobile service and also the clinics. I do see a lot of clinics consolidating, which you see that a lot with businesses that are growing. So there's going to be some consolidation. I do see a lot more franchises opening up more of the franchise locations as well. And then obviously I see this going more international as it keeps on growing. This is a business that's estimated to be, in a few years, over $30 billion in revenue.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about what the difference is between vitamin IV therapy and regular IV therapy?
So when we talk about vitamin IV therapy, the actual terminology would be nutrients IV therapy, because nutrients means you're getting vitamins, minerals, and amino acids directly into the bloodstream through an IV infusion. Then when we talk about just IV therapy, most people look at that as just saline, which is, when you look at that saline, it's basically water with some sodium in it to help, the hydration process. And that's just basic IV therapy.
And so if people wanted to become a patient, do they have to go through your website to find some of the companies you're working with, or is that something you do separately?
Yeah, so our website will actually have the Liquivida locations, the brick and mortar stores. It will also have the integrated Liquivida lounges where we integrate inside of an existing wellness center. And then any of the providers that purchase our IV products, that just have their own clinic and buy our products, we also list them on our website.
And you said you are in a lot of locations in the US. Anything outside the US yet?
So we have a few that we're working on outside of the US. We're working on a few projects in Canada and then also in the Far East that we're negotiating some deals. But primarily, most of our locations are here in the United States. In regards to Liquivida franchises, our footprint is obviously Florida. Florida is our backyard. We have multiple locations in South Florida. We have locations on the west coast of Florida as well. We have a couple locations in Texas, and then a new one that's signed in Dallas, Texas. We have Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona to be exact. We have 2 locations there. And then we have a location in Milford, Connecticut. And then we have also a handful of locations in New Jersey.
Nice. Are you guys hiring? I always get this question.
Oh, we're always hiring. Hiring never stops, especially with a growing company. It's not easy to find good staff that knows, the industry that we're in. So yes, absolutely, we're hiring. We have part of our HR team at our corporate office. We have a talent and acquisition coordinator that is always vetting people out, going through resumes. So if people are interested in potential job opportunities, they can find that on our website, through the job search on our website, and they can even submit their application right through there.
Okay, you guys heard it. You guys heard it here. They're hiring, go apply. I always get questions about if there's ever opportunities where people can do something that's more future focused, or maybe they want to get out of the hospital or the lab. So it's kind of interesting when these companies that, like you guys, are starting to tag on services that essentially you could become a hospital one day if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I guess like a question that I get a lot of is, if someone does want to shift from employee to entrepreneur, there's a mindset shift that they have to do. Any advice you have? Because I've heard of like mindset coaches, I've heard of like business coaches that people need to get to really learn how to run a business and not just be a part of it.
Yeah, so it's interesting you bring that up, because we've actually have had employees of Liquivida that have become franchisees of Liquivida, where they own their own business. And you're right, there is a mind shift. And part of that mind shift that you have to do, that mindset, is understand that you are it. You are the leader. People depend on you. You're working around the clock. You have to be available 24/7. And I'm not saying not to have work-life balance, but people need you. You're in a leadership role. You're going to be a leader. and you're going to have to guide them, mentor your team to have proper scalability. So the good thing is, especially if you're in a franchise system, you're not by yourself. You have a whole team of people, other leaders that you can depend on, ask questions, get proper mentorship with. So, and that's one of the things, like myself being an entrepreneur, I don't depend on just myself. There's a lot of people that I collaborate with and I utilize as mentors as well. Going back to how to win in modern wellness, all of these people I've built strong relationships. And a matter of fact, I just recently did a TED talk on relationships,
Oh, that's awesome.
talking about the importance of relationships, because that's what's going to thrive. I mean, businesses, forget about everything else for a second. Business is about building relationships.
Definitely. And on that note, last question I have, is there anything you need help with? Anything we can do to help you?
Well, for me is, let's keep on building strong relationships together. You know, that is the most important thing. Connections. When there's opportunities, I can't handle all of them myself. Let's win together. And part of winning together is part of the definition of what we call winergy, which is us being able to win together.
I like that. Winergy. That's fun.
Winergy is part of the mindset, which Winergy, the founder of Winergy, who's also in the book, is Corey Jacobs, who's become a partner in Liquivida. He's also Puff Daddy's senior advisor. It's been his best friend since they were like 12. And it's part of what we're putting within Liquivida. If you see our content online, there's a lot of talk about Winergy. P. Diddy has actually shouted out Winergy at the billboards, and it's all about a mindset of all of us winning together.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I look forward to staying connected. Thank you so much, Sam. I really appreciate having you on and just talking about what you guys do at Liquivida. If there's anything you want to add, feel free to, any plugs, feel free to speak now.
No, the only other thing is, a lot of these services and modalities that are offered have only been offered to some of the most affluent people on this globe. And one of the things that I decided to do when I came into the space is bringing this to the masses, bringing it to people that look like you and I, right? To the people that haven't had the opportunity to benefit from these services. So that's one of the goals that we have as Liquivida, is bringing it to the culture, to a lot of the people that haven't been able to have access to these great treatments.
And it shows. It shows. That's why you're so successful. I'm going to go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.